All right. So, welcome everyone to our next health talks. We have here all the health guys with, how do you pronounce the whole thing? Is it Mittlabs? Yes, with the new initiative of Mittlabs. I'm not going to ruin their presentation, but giving wrong information about what they do. So I'll let them do that properly. I'll just say a few words about Health Talks and Terkko. So for those of you who don't know, Health Talks is an alliance of all the health event series organized by all the health hubs and a couple of universities in Finland. I don't think there's any such thing exists in other verticals in startup world where hubs come together and organize event series, and our events focus on health and life sciences and entrepreneurship. And Terkko is facilitating this umbrella organization, which Terkko is a startup hub, a co-working space in Helsinki. We have about 60 startups as our members, and we've helped them with various services. But enough about Terkko. Now I'd like to pass the screen to Joanna to host the event and to tell you more. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So good morning, everyone, also on behalf of the Oulu Health ecosystem. And yes, today we have the pleasure to tell you more about OuluHealth Labs, which is testing and development environment located in Oulu. Our special focus will be on the Mittlab, indeed, which is a recent addition to the whole set, medical imaging, teaching, and test laboratory. So first of all, you will hear from Timo Alalääkkölä, who will tell you some general insights about the labs. And then I will invite Karoliina Paalimäki-Paakki and Miika Nieminen to introduce you to the topic of the Mittlab. So if you have any questions to our speakers, please feel free to ask. There will be some time to ask the questions after each of the presentations, or you can type your questions in a chat box. We will address them as soon as possible. But now, Timo, please, the microphone is yours.
All right, thank you, Joanna. I am Timo Alalääkkölä. I am head of testing and innovations at Oulu University Hospital, and also from the Wellbeing Services County of North Ostrobothnia. I'm responsible of running this OuluHealth Labs operation in our region, and I'm also managing some of the development projects that are ongoing in our organization. My background is in business. I'm Master of Science in Economics. On my free time, I'm quite enthusiastic about endurance sports, and also I'm a PhD researcher, doctoral researcher in the University of Oulu Business School. I'm researching health innovation networks, so my work is also my research passion. But today, it's about OuluHealth Labs. It's our testing and innovation unit inside Oulu University Hospital and in the region, where we coordinate and execute different development activities. But the basis for the OuluHealth Labs is actually Oulu Health ecosystem. There we have research and innovation from the University of Oulu. Then we are collaborating with the Technical Research Center of Finland, VTT. Then we have the medical school and also University of Applied Sciences on board, and we are collaborating closely with the health and life science companies in the region. Here, I'm presenting some of the recent collaboration examples from OuluHealth Labs. Most of the devices that you see in the picture are actually co-created or tested by OuluHealth Labs. But let's not forget the citizens. Actually, in the ecosystem, the citizens are in the center of our operations. When we are able to provide usability feedback for the medtech companies, service companies, to create the solutions better fit the need of the healthcare professionals, then of course the citizens are the ones who gain the benefit of the collaboration. And since Oulu isn't topical here, so last year we actually were selected as top 30 places of running a health startup in the world. And this is quite an achievement, since the other top 30 candidates and places where to run a health startup, they are quite namely, and Oulu is among the top 30 of this ranking. You can get more information from a Startup Link webpage concerning this. And then let's go to OuluHealth Labs topic. It's a testing and development platform for companies to test your health and welfare products and services in an authentic healthcare environment with genuine users. We provide you testing services for every phase of the R&D process, from idea validation to prototype testing, and also ready product trial and presentation opportunities. Our testing platform covers the whole chain of healthcare and social care, from the specialized level in OS Test Lab to primary care, social care in Pohde Wellbeing Lab, and the future professionals of Oulu University Hospital, Oulu University of Applied Sciences simulation laboratories. Latest addition, as mentioned, is the Mittlab, which will be presented in detail quite soon. We do have a physical Oulu University Hospital laboratories in Oulu University of Applied Sciences, and there we enable different kind of test cases, product trials, and co-development. And here are some of the recent examples of this collaboration. Just recently, we ran a usability test for patient transfer device, which is a Nord company with their Atle product from Sweden. And we also had the company from Norway, the Glucoset, who are providing continuous glucose monitoring solution for the intensive care unit. This was actually a really good test case. Our professionals were quite even enthusiastic about the solution, that finally this challenge that has been there present for so many years, now there is a company that is bringing solution for the continuous glucose monitoring solution. And here also the Nordic group is mentioned. So we are a member in the network of premium testbeds in the Nordics. OuluHealth Labs has been a member of Nordic group for many years now, and this year we are expanding the operation, and it's a really good channel for any new startup company to bring their technology to be tested in real or realistic environments throughout the Nordics. And then what about the future? We have seen that there is more and more request for the medical research, medical device research cases, and also reference testing cases. And we are quite well established actor in the field of testbeds in Finland, also in the European level, and we do have ways of working defined to execute also these clinical research cases. They are more demanding than usability testing cases, but we do have ways of working and agreement structures prepared and ready to run also these cases. And something that we have been just launching are the OuluHealth Labs labels. We want to give recognition to the companies that have co-created or tested the solution together with OuluHealth Labs. So we provide OuluHealth Labs label for the companies that meet the criteria set for the test cases. And companies can then use this label in their marketing. So do not hesitate to provide your testing need via electronic form at ouluhealth.fi, and let's take your testing need or solution proposal forward. And then I want to also express that what comes to the ideas of our own healthcare professionals and social care professionals in the region, but also the citizens. So we do have this kind of a open channel for ideas, and we collect them via the electronic form. Even any of you participants can express your idea to this address, and then we take those ideas forward. What is special here is the co-creation model, how we handle the ideas and how we take them even into reality together with the companies. So this in-demand model for demand-driven co-creation was defined and created and validated in the EU-funded project. And one of the best outcomes of this co-creation process has been until now the VitaCam solution, which is a contactless respiratory rate monitor. This case started from a need of one of our emergency room nurses, and we co-create the solution together with an EDIH software company. The special thing here in the co-creation is that the typical timeline from idea to certified medical device, it's 5 to 7 years, maybe even 10 years. But with this model, we were able to handle the whole process from idea to medically certified device in a little bit more than 2 years. And this is something that we should do again and again to ease out the current challenges of healthcare where we are at the moment. And to wrap this up, here are some of the numbers of our operations since 2015. So there have been already thousands of professionals participating into this activity. We have been able to attract and speed up the health innovation in Oulu region, and we are really willing to collaborate nationally and internationally with all the innovators in the field. Oulu is a great place to bring your health innovations. We are just in the middle of renewing and rebuilding our Oulu University Hospital. It's a mega project worth 1.6 billion euros, and we will be the smartest hospital in the world by 2030. Of course, this is an iterative project, and actually the first parts of the building are already ready, and we are moving in next year. And related to that, we do have an Oyster concept under works. It will be the digital health research development innovation center of the future, where we can bring in the research, the testing, innovation activities, but also medical faculty, University of Applied Sciences, their teaching and training operations, and then the startup activity under the same roof. Just remind the Oyster, you will hear more of it a little bit later. And finally, to end up my presentation, I want to invite all health innovators to Oulu next summer. We will be arranging a SSIA conference, which is the anesthesiology and intensive care medicine focused conference, most important in the Nordics and among maybe top 5 conferences in the whole Europe. We are offering quite interesting innovator packages for the startup companies. You can bring in your solution, you can even get a slot to present it in the conference agenda, and you will get lots of feedback from these top-notch professionals who come, international participants throughout the Europe. So it's a great place to showcase your product. So looking forward to see you in Oulu next summer.
Thank you, Timo. Really lots of great things going on in Oulu. Great to hear. Do we have any question you would like to ask, Timo? Let's have a look at the chat box. No. Well, meanwhile, I have a question. Timo, we have 4 testing and development environments in Oulu. So how can a company or how can one who wants to test solution know which one is the right one?
The customer or the company doesn't have to worry about that. It's enough if you go to OuluHealth.fi, you fill in the electronic form to indicate your testing need, and we will select the most suitable platform for you. And then we, of course, fine-tune the test plan to execute it. So let's do it together.
You've also mentioned companies testing from Norway, from Sweden. Have you ever had any company from further than Europe?
Yes, we have this kind of collaboration agreement with the Kanagawa Prefecture in Japan. We have had several companies also from Japan and from Germany, other countries in Europe. So we have been international from the start, and that's how we are planning to continue.
We have one more question in the chat box. Susan is asking, do you offer tech support to universities in developing countries to establish digital labs?
There has been different kind of initiatives in the Europe, like sponsored by EIT Health. They have been establishing health hubs in various countries, and their duty is actually to support these regions with their expertise to activate health innovation in the regions. So maybe that would be the better channel. As directly, we can of course always talk with them, but we are not providing this kind of service to establish health innovation operations in the different countries.
Okay. There's one more. Do you facilitate the FDA certification of the solution of device from startups?
No, we are not a certifying authority, but we are closely collaborating with those authorities, and together we can find a way how to get the solution, of course, tested in OuluHealth Labs, but also we can guide them to the right door from where to ask about the medical device certification process.
Okay, any other questions? You can also open the microphone and ask your questions. Well, not at the moment, all right, no worries. You can always type the questions in the chat box, and we could meanwhile move to the Mittlab. I would like to invite Karoliina and Miika, so thank you, Timo. I think you will stay online, right, with us to be able
I will
to
be
answer.
here. Yeah.
Okay. So Karoliina is our first speaker. She's a Doctor of Health Sciences, works also at the Oulu University of Applied Sciences as a principal lecturer, right? And I know you specialize in the safe use of radiation, plain X-ray and CT examination. Is that right?
Yeah, that's completely right. Actually, Miika will start.
Oh,
we will change this order. But
all right, and
go ahead, Miika. You can.
So the second speaker is Miika Nieminen, a professor of medical physics. I've done a little bit of research, so I know something. I know Miika is also part of Faculty of Medicine at the Oulu University and Department of Diagnostics at Oulu University Hospital. You've been both involved in lots of research related to medical imaging technologies. So we are very excited to hear and listen to your presentation. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Joanna, for the introduction. I'm glad to present our lab at this forum as well. We've been trying to popularize and make our lab known at different events, and I'm glad to speak to you lot as well. So Mittlab is a medical imaging teaching and test and research laboratory. We built it over the last 2 years or so with the European Regional Development Funding. The project itself ended in the end of August. but one can say that we're only starting, or that was to establish the lab, and now we have the lab up and running. During the course of the project, we have appended the lab with different facilities and imaging equipment. We'll demonstrate or present those a little later. So what we provide is a versatile medical imaging lab at the medical campus here in Oulu, so we're focused in medical imaging. We identified a need for a shared environment that's dedicated for teaching, research, development, company collaborations, whatnot. If we think about our teaching activities previously, the Oulu University of Applied Sciences have had their own small lab for medical imaging. We've also had students visit the hospital facilities and working long nights and weekends to get access to imaging equipment. And that's been pretty suboptimal. Also, the selection of equipment hasn't been very good before for teaching purposes. So what we wanted to do is to develop this lab to facilitate different stakeholders and provide a radiation protected lab with plenty of imaging equipment for different purposes. So if we move forward, the advantages of our project and the lab is that it facilitates multi-professional collaboration. So basically, we are inside the Oulu University Hospital. So if a company is interested to do something in a hospital environment or near hospital environment, that's what we can provide. And that's of value for many companies who have their own product development, but don't have such facilities for testing. So we have this multi-professional environment that provides synergy between different stakeholders. The project main participants for the project initially were the Oulu University and the Oulu University of Applied Sciences, but we're very closely collaborating with the Oulu University Hospital, and as already mentioned, we are actually inside the university hospital. We can use the lab for different purposes. There's a need for radiation safety teaching, and we have a rather strong biomedical engineering programming in Oulu, so the lab can make use of that. We are rather strong in medical imaging equipment and algorithm and analysis tools development, and our lab facilitates very well for such needs. We are also very closely collaborating with the leading medical imaging and industry in joint projects. I'll tell a little more about those a little later. Karoliina, can you give the next slide? So just a quick peek at the people of our team. So maybe the take-home message from here as well is that we have people from different organizations, from the university hospital, the University of Applied Sciences, and people who are employed by both. And this really facilitates the use of the lab in different kind of functions. And we have particular experts and expertise in all of the different imaging modalities that we are involved with. And while we have a physical lab, but we also have a virtual lab and virtual devices in our lab that can really facilitate teaching. And Karoliina will tell a bit more about that, but you can find the information on the virtual devices and also the hardware that we have in the link above. Over to you, Karoliina.
Okay, thank you, Miika. I will continue. Like Miika said, we have these actual physical tools, and then we have virtual tools, and I will quickly go through some of the physical ones first. When thinking about the background like Joanna introduced us at the beginning, I'm the principal lecturer in the radiography and radiation therapy program in Oulu University of Applied Sciences. And for our radiographer students, it's mandatory to do a clinical practice in the curricula. Basically, they have 76 ECTS, which has to be done, and 6 of them are typically performed in simulation, and Mittlab is one of our simulation spaces. Basically, when you look at the numbers on the left, our students have to do more than 150 hours in simulation before they go to actual clinical practice to use the devices with patients. I think the best way to describe our lab is to take a quick tour in this 360-degree panorama, which was created in our project. And you can also join the panorama via this QR code, but I will quickly present it from the browser view also. So I will change this sharing mode. Do you see this now? There's a dollhouse model of the Mittlab.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
So we collaborated with some of the projects that were ongoing in Oulu University of Applied Sciences and got this model created. You can actually go around in the space, but here, for example, you can see the floor plan. There is this operating area, and then we have 2 spaces or areas which are protected so that the radiation protection is covered there. And when we change the view, we can actually go to see that area. So this is the controlling area. Basically, our students, for example, here, we can control the CT device, and students can simulate, they can actually do the CT imaging, and then they can test and vary the, for example, parameters. How if some parameters is changed, how will that affect to image quality or patient dose? And they can also practice, because this is an actual copy. This has been one of the radiation therapy program room. So this is the original department. They can obviously also practice performing things in the hospital setting. And then we are able to go to the separate rooms. Here we have the CT room. Miika, I think you can say something about this CT device, which is the simple model of CT device, but we have also these normal devices which our students can use with the phantoms. So we in the room, back of this room, we have models which have skeleton in it, and students are able to lift them on the tables and do the actual imaging and get the image quality checked and monitor the dose, for example. And then we have these tools that are equipment that are used while the patient is imaged. For example, this is for the giving the why I forgot the
contrast agent.
Contrast agents. Yeah, sorry. So there are supporting tools and actual devices. And when we go through from here to another room, we'll see that there are actually several devices in this room. There is normal X-ray device, then we have a mammogram. On the back there, we have a dental cone beam CT, and also we have this operating desk for the mammogram and other devices. So basically, these rooms are quite spacious, and we also, so these all are permanently in these rooms, but obviously we could also done some other simulation with the mobile X-ray device and for example with C-arm here, in case we wanted to bring them to this room also. But yeah, when we think of this environment from the student perspective, this is really good for orientating to use of Mittlab. So for example, when our radiographer students will start working at Mittlab on January, we will give them this link and include here some videos and photos and guides how to use these devices, so they are more prepared to use this room for their purposes, and it's more safe when the orientation is also done properly beforehand. And then I will continue to the presentation. So, sorry. So we also wanted to include the floor plan. So we already went through the control room and actual imaging rooms. We also have this huge storage area where all the supporting stuff is stored. But basically, while there are 2 rooms, it's possible to so that we are able to get multiple students to work there together. And like Miika said, there can be, for example, multi-professional collaboration so that radiographer students and, for example, Miika students can be there at the same time to, for example, evaluate the image quality or check the dose, do some dose checking. Here, I think that these technical specs, they are not that interesting, but we have also wanted to include them. So the cone beam dental device was bought from Planmeca in this project. Then many of these devices were actually given us from the University Hospital. So mammogram and CT and X-ray device were already used in Oulu University Hospital earlier, and they were then transferred to our lab. We bought also, Miika, do you want to add something about these detectors?
Yes, so the imaging equipment below, it's an experimental computed tomography system that we've actually put together ourselves. It's equipped with an X-ray tube and a state-of-the-art or next generation X-ray detector, and we've done quite a bit of research, maybe 10 research papers already with this equipment. So before some imaging method or image reconstruction algorithm or artifact reduction algorithm is brought to a clinical system, we can actually test and experimentally use experimental data acquired by ourselves, and hopefully we can also share this data for the research community that who don't have access to such equipment, so that they can still continue developing their imaging and image processing algorithms using the data that we have acquired and made publicly available.
Yeah, thank you. Do you want to continue with the slide 12? Here
Yes.
are some images.
So some highlights and representative images that we've generated from the lab. This is a dental and a head phantom, which has a real skull inside it. And given that we've been able to image this in the lab and get the raw data out from the imaging device, then we've used the real data in our image reconstruction algorithm research. The next two images, they are the first one. It's a twig or a branch that has been imaged, and then a cone beam CT image of a pine cone, which has then been 3D reconstructed. And then the next one is an interesting project where bullet trajectories in a tissue simulating media was studied. So we had this gelatin that simulates human flesh, and it was shot on using a gun, using different kind of cartridges or bullets, and then the bullet trajectory or this material was then imaged using the CT system to study that how the bullet behaves inside this material, which is similar to tissue. This is like a forensic application. And then the last example here, it's an archaeological sample of a jaw and teeth, which was imaged in the lab. Archaeologists have demonstrated significant interest in our lab, so that they can evaluate and document their bone and possibly other findings. And once we have this 3D data from these objects, then we can make more detailed measurements on say the anatomy, which is one of their interests to study how anatomy and bone shape and size have changed in the course of time.
Okay, then we will continue with the supporting devices. Like I said earlier, we also have these phantoms and test objects, which, for example, can be rented in case some company doesn't have their own ones. So here's the list of phantoms and test objects, and also the kit of dose meter was purchased for the lab. So basically, whenever you have functioning medical devices, you have to also do some quality testing. So these are really mandatory and useful for that. And then, like I said in the beginning, as an addition to the actual tools, we also have developed and gathered some virtual tools for the Mittlab. I will go through all of these categories. So basically, we have virtualized device interfaces. Then we have collection of 360-degree virtual simulation environments. Also, we have anatomy 3D environments and one X-ray scatter simulator. All of these virtual tools can be accessed from our GitHub. this GitHub link is also in the Mittlab webpage, which Miika previously did show you. So in case you want to test and use these, you can download them from GitHub. So basically, first about these virtualized device interfaces. In case you would want to buy these are there are several of them quite expensive, and because of that, for example, Oulu University of Applied Sciences hasn't been able to purchase one of our own before. And in this project, we developed one for CT and one for radiography. And basically, both of them functions are quite similar. The user, for example, radiography student, has a possibility to, like here, change some parameters and then change the view where the patient model is imaged, and then they get to see how it affects patient dose and image quality. So this is really a good addition for the actual testing the same in the lab, because this can be done while the student is at home, and they can repeat it as many times as they do want. So this doesn't, they don't have to actually use the actual lab and time for that. And then we also found this MRI simulator. This was already established by Liu et al, and also made some moderation for this one. So this was an open access code simulator which was available online. So we wanted to take this in use. So these were the simulators, and then something about the 360-degree panorama simulation environments. At the beginning, we did some photo shooting in Oulu University Hospital. So basically, each of these imaging methods that are used in Oulu University Hospital, they were photographed with the 360-degree panoramas, and from those panoramas we created these simulation environments. And basically we have environments for like multiple purposes. Some of the environments are in Finnish and they are dedicated for radiography students, and then some of these are in English, and for example those can be used by radiography students or, for example, physics students from Oulu University. And in my PhD, I have done research about the use of this kind of simulation environment for patients who are coming to certain imaging, certain CT procedure. I think we could take a quick tour to this CT environment so you can actually see what's going on there. So here in this kind of environment, you are able to compress together separate spaces and create like pathways for user how they should or could go around in these kind of environments. For example, here we have some text and images embedded into this environment, and then when user goes around the environment, she or he is able to follow the patient's pathway inside the panorama environment. And for example, you can insert text and images and videos, all kind of digital learning material for students, which of you want them to familiarize themselves with it. And also, I'm trying to go to CT room here. Students are able to see the actual device beforehand, before they go to Mittlab or they go to actual university hospital or other hospital, and they can, for example, when they have done the theory course, they can then see more detailed description, for example, about the X-ray tube and so on. So I think from the radiography student point of view, this is really beneficial for them before they go to clinical practice, because they are then more prepared to go to for example, to CT clinical practice or MRI or so on, because they have seen some of the devices and got the idea, more proper idea of the environment, which is which they then go on real life. Obviously, when we think of the radiography students, all of them don't go to Oulu University Hospital to do all the clinical practice, but this is like an example. And when we go back to the presentation, you can also, if you want to take a quick guided video tour, which I have made from my PhD point of view, where I have done this tour and embedded some texting, so that can be also viewed if you want. But then we will continue to other environments. In this project, we also purchased one anatomy environment which uses 3D data from radiological point of view, and also combines the physiological anatomy point of view to that. We also have couple of VR classes to use with this Disier bone logic environment. And then one interesting app was also developed in this project. We realized that we would like to see the actual radiation, which is not obviously possible without the dosimeters normally. And we wanted to visualize X-ray, how the X-ray works and how it scatters, so spreads around the patient and imaging device. And this simulator app was created based on measured scattered data, and those data that data was also visualized by these maps. But then when those maps were combined to app, there were several tools like MATLAB, Blender, and Unity which were used. And now this year you are able to download the actual app from App Store and also from Google Play Store. So if you want to test it, you only need one blank A4 paper to place it, for example, on the table, and then you can test with it, even though you don't have the actual background from the imaging devices. But obviously, from the student point of view, the best way to use it is when you are in some place where you have the actual imaging tool with you. So this view which you see it, it's like an additional reality point of view. And then Miika, do you want to continue from here?
Yes. So during the project, we did some test cases with companies already. This has already involved since then. But just to summarize, actually, Timo already presented the patient transfer solution. This was tested with a big CT device in Mittlab. Then we did also some CT scanning of manufactured parts for like quality assurance, or they had some problems with some parts and wanted to understand what's the problem in the manufacturing process. Unfortunately, I'm not able to disclose the names of the companies, but we did this kind of testing, and hopefully we can do more of it soon. If we move to our last or second last slide, just to envision how the near and far future of our lab looks like. There's increasing use in teaching and research. We have an increasing amount of courses, both under and postgraduate courses and studies where the lab is used. Several PhD studies are currently underway which make use of the lab. Then Karoliina's organization, they've had their small lab, but that building is reaching its life cycle end. So that will bring up a huge boost for the use of Mittlab to replace all the functions and the teaching activities in the old lab. Then we can provide service for external research groups and companies. I already saw there were some questions regarding the company use. So particularly we do this in collaboration with companies. We have currently several national level R&D projects funded by Business Finland and other partners, where we make use of the lab and co-create with companies. Then the hospital is interested in using the lab in continuing professional education of radiation protection in our area, and we are arranging visits for people and personnel to learn more about radiation protection, use also the virtual devices but also the physical devices, and we can make radiation measurements inside the room and things like that. Karoliina nicely presented the virtual tools and devices that have already been developed. They can be downloaded from GitHub, but in the very near future we'll be transferring most of these tools to run on a public server, so anyone can actually make use of them and test them instead of having to install them or do nerdy stuff themselves. Then the lab will and has already leveraged future fundings. In the beginning of this year, we initiated a Business Finland project under the Competitive Edge program led by Nokia. Almost 10 Finnish companies and several research institutions are involved in that project. Also, we just recently acquired a Academy of Finland or Research Council of Finland flagship program, and this lab will be used in the activities of this flagship in terms of R&D. So the research use is increasing. We hope to make some of the data that are produced by the lab to make it publicly available as part of like a public outreach and sharing data within the research community. And then there's also an opportunity for companies to make use of the lab as a virtual showroom. So we could have videos or 360 environments like Karoliina already presented on the company equipment, and this could done separately from the equipment testing or do both, but this could boost company sales by producing content to virtually demonstrate their equipments. So this was what Mittlab looks like, both physically and virtually, and there were some questions in the chat. So or if you have direct questions, please ask. We're happy to help, and really want this lab to be used by different stakeholders. So please be in touch with us or ask questions should you have any.
Thank you very much, Miika and Karoliina. Fantastic lab, very well equipped, and definitely opens doors to lots of new possibilities. Yes, we have 3 questions. We are slightly running out of time, but just quickly. The first question is, have you developed algorithm for low dose radiation in your experimental CT scanner?
Yes, a very nice question, and to respond briefly, yes, we have. So we are developing different kind of image on our research side, different kind of imaging image reconstruction algorithms, and one of the targets is to create proper radiological images with lower radiation dose. So yes, that's something that we are working on, and actually it's one of the activities in the Business Finland project that we are running at the moment.
Okay. And the second question, the aluminium and copper filters for rent, is it for a specific brand of X-ray machines?
The phantoms, if I briefly respond, the phantoms are general phantoms that can be used virtually on any imaging equipment. Of course, there are different kind of phantoms designed for different imaging equipment, but yes, they can be used for different devices, and yes, we can also rent them out from the lab.
Here we have an extra question. The question referred to filters. Actually, if there is, I would like to find out more about the filters. Rent?
Okay. Well, the filters that we have are basically metal that can be appended to imaging devices, and should be applicable for most of the different imaging equipments. But if you want more detailed information, please reach out to me, and we can continue the discussion.
Then the third question, the simulation X-ray machine, can the patient orientation be expanded to include the patient positioning and supine, which is regularly done in reality?
I can answer that one.
Be expanded, yeah.
Currently, no, because this was created in one, was it in PhD or master's project, but we have been considering that. Typically, when the patients are supine, they are in this half sitting position normally. So that would require quite a lot of extra work, but we are considering that. Currently only elevated position possible.
Okay, thank you. Then there is one more question. If a company would like to have the solution tested, there is a small fee involved, right? Is there any link that leads to more information about the prices? how can we find out more about the fee?
Do you want to answer that, Miika? Or
Can you please repeat the question?
If there is a fee involved for the testing case.
Oh yes.
How can we find out what the fee is?
It will depend on our involvement and which equipment we use. So it's case by case, but basically we have a price list for different imaging equipment. But then it may be that a company may want to come and do their own imaging, or then we help them with the imaging. So I will not disclose the price list here, but we have it at least for some of the equipment, and we are reiterating that for the rest of the equipment. So if you have a particular need, please contact and we can discuss it. But it really depends on how much involvement, like personnel involvement, it requires from us, or is it just the imaging equipment?
Yeah, thank you.
Overall, the pricing is based on the resource use in whole OuluHealth Labs.
Yes.
So participation of healthcare professionals and other resources.
You can find out more information on our OuluHealth.fi website, which I also enclosed at the beginning. You can also reach out to us for more information. I hope you've enjoyed the webinar today. Thank you. A special thanks to all our speakers and health partners for making these webinars happen. Please stay tuned for other upcoming events. And I think over to Rashad for closing remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Well, not much to say here, just that lovely presentation, really impressive, and really well done on the top 30s list. You guys are really ahead of, well, quite a lot of people in Europe. I think most of the countries were the US and UK, and then there was Oulu. Well done. Thank you, Timo, Karoliina, Miika, and Joanna, of course. Hope to see you again. Yeah.
Thank you. Have a nice rest of the day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.